I'm Tarika from the student recruitment team here at RMIT, and today I'll be talking about international students currently living in Australia. I'll be covering topics such as why you should study at RMIT, our different campuses, the different areas and types of study, and also prerequisites you'll need and how to apply. We'll also cover a little bit about student services. Let's get started. RMIT has a really rich history. We started on the 7th of June 1887 and were known as the Working Men's College. We were founded by Francis Ormond and even have a statue of him on campus. We're Australia's largest tertiary institution. Since then, we've won many rankings over the years, and we are now top 1% of universities globally and number 22 in the world out of universities under 50 years old. We are number 4 in Australia for partnerships with employers and number 5 in graduate employment in Australia. So why should you study at RMIT? RMIT is a dual sector institution. That means we offer vocational education and we also offer higher education as well. We're globally recognised with multiple campuses in Victoria, which we'll go through a little bit later, and also in Vietnam. Now we'll talk about the different campuses in Melbourne. So we have the City, Bundoora and Brunswick campus, and we also have 2 flight training sites in Bendigo and Point Cook. So the campus you'll be studying at really depends on the course you want to study. For example, if you're interested in studying something like business, engineering, communication, design, you most likely will be studying at the City campus. This campus isn't really traditional in terms of its structure. Instead, we're integrated amongst other shops, restaurants and cafes. We have Melbourne Central train station just across the road, so it's very convenient and easy to get to. And we also have some really great facilities there. Next, we have the Bundoora campus. This campus is a lot more traditional in terms of its structure and a lot more what you'd imagine a university to look like. It's very green, very zen, and we also have accommodation on campus. This campus is pretty much for health and science courses, so things like osteo, chiro, exercise and sports science, and also teaching. We have some really great facilities there as well, so we have a FIFA-approved soccer pitch, and the women's AFL Essendon team actually train there as well. Finally, we have the Brunswick campus. This is a very niche campus, specifically for courses in fashion and industrial design. It's very close to the city, which means there's lots of parking available and it's very easily accessible by public transport. Areas of study. As you can see, there are many different interest areas offered at RMIT. Here is a list of programs that you can study. Don't panic if you don't see the name of your course you want to study, because it probably falls under one of these umbrella terms. For example, a degree in journalism falls under communication. Types of studies. As I mentioned earlier, RMIT is a dual sector institution and we offer multiple levels of study. I'll quickly go through the differences between the different types of education you can do at RMIT. So we have pre-university studies. So that's your English for academic purposes, VCE Year 11 and 12, and also foundation. We then have vocational education. So that's probably what you know as TAFE. This includes certificates 1 to 4, diplomas and advanced diplomas. This type of learning is very hands-on and very practical. You'll be in small classes and you might have labs, workshops and studios. This can go for up to 2 years. We then have higher education courses. So that's bachelor degrees and undergraduate degrees, which means the same thing, and also associate degrees. This type of learning involves lectures, tutorials, labs, and studios. There are large classes and it's very theory-based learning and also very independent. So no one's there marking the role like it is in high school. It's completely up to you if you want to do well. This type of study can go from up to 2 to 5 years, depending on which course you do. We then have postgraduate study and research. This is your graduate certificates, diplomas and master's degrees, and also research degrees and PhDs. This type of learning is to deepen your knowledge in a particular area. Usually you do need to complete a bachelor's degree or have extensive work experience in order to gain entry into these programs. There's lots of flexible study options available, so you can do classes after work or online and become an expert in your field. Depending on the type of program you're doing, it might be 6 months to 4 years. Something else which really makes RMIT stand out is that it has a really strong reputation for producing work-ready graduates. As I mentioned earlier, there's lots of different ways to get work experience no matter what course you do, so I'll quickly go through the different examples. You might have practical placements. These are available at major organisations such as KPMG, Deloitte and Holden. At these placements, you are treated as an employee and get paid for your work. You're not making coffees and doing photocopying, but it is real work that contributes to your resume in the long run. Often employees offer our students full-time work upon completion, which is really handy as well. And we also have clinical practice, which is offered to all programs in the health and biomedical science areas, including nursing, osteo, and chiro. If you're studying chiro, you can actually work at the Bundoora campus in the chiro clinic, which is open to the public. This is a really great way to get work experience before you graduate. We also have industry work projects. Work integrated learning is also a really great example. I myself was a Bachelor of Business Marketing graduate from RMIT, and you'll notice with a lot of the business degrees, we have the standard 3-year degree, but we also have the 4-year degree in which you get to do 1 year of paid work placement. This was a really great opportunity for me because I got to apply all the learnings that I learned in class in a real life working environment, and it was really helpful to talk about these examples when I went for jobs after I graduated. Prerequisites and selection requirements are really important. When considering university courses, it is important to be aware of what prerequisites are required for the particular courses you're interested in. For example, if you're wanting to do something like engineering or science, you might need to do a math methods, physics, or chemistry subject. English is a requirement for all of our degrees as well. Entry requirements for international students and domestic students are essentially the same in terms of ATAR and prerequisites. The only difference might be that you are doing EAL rather than English, and the subject scores can be a little bit different. Traditionally, in most courses, the EAL score is 30 as opposed to a 25 in English. Be sure to double check the prerequisites of your course you're interested in on our website and make sure you're selecting the international students option at the top of the webpage. Some of our courses also require extra requirements, especially those in the art, design and communication areas. In these courses, you might be required to submit something extra in your application. This might be something like a pre-selection kit, interview, folio, or a design exercise. Again, make sure you're having a look at the entry requirements on each of the program pages to see what's required for the course you're interested in. Pathways are pretty much getting from where you are to where you want to be. Sometimes Year 12 might not go to plan. You might not have gotten the right ATAR, or you might not have gotten the right English prerequisite score. And this is where Pathways can help you get into your dream course. You might choose to do an advanced diploma, for example, for 1 year and then transfer into the second year of a bachelor's degree. Or another option might be to do an associate degree for 2 years and transfer into the third year of a bachelor's degree. In both of these examples, the student graduates with 2 qualifications in the same amount of time. Someone else might get 1. Pathways are pretty much getting from where you are to where you want to be. If you don't meet any of the entry requirements, including the English requirement, you can then use a pathway to help you gain entry into your dream course. One option is to start in a vocational education course, as the entry requirements are generally lower, and upon completion, you can then move into the degree of your choice. Most of the time, this doesn't add any extra time and can also be cheaper, and it's a great way to learn in different learning environments. If it's just the English prerequisite that you have not met, you can apply directly for the English for Academic Purposes EAP program packaged with the main program. This basically adds on an English course at the start of your degree to prepare you in time for when the degree starts. Okay, how to apply. As an international student, it's very important to take note of the different application methods for different course levels. There's really only 2 methods. Either you apply through BTAC or you apply directly through the RMIT website using a system called StudyLink. So who should apply through BTAC? BTAC is for international students enrolled in Year 12 in Australia and want to apply for a higher education program. So this is if you want to study a bachelor's degree or an undergraduate degree. These programs have a code ending with 3 in the BTAC program list, so make sure you're only applying for the ones ending in a 3. And what about StudyLink? StudyLink is if you're an international student wanting to study a vocational education program such as foundation, certificates, diplomas, and advanced diplomas leading into an undergraduate degree, or if you're wanting to do the English for Academic Purposes package program I mentioned in the pathway slide earlier. And finally, I know the transition from high school or TAFE to university can present new challenges, but it's really important to know that RMIT offers a range of support services available to our students, as you can see on the screen. I'll go through a few of these examples. There is plenty of work and career help. We have RMIT Job Shop where you can actually go and they can help you with your resume, they can help you write your cover letter, and they can also help you basically find a job. If you're someone who gets really nervous for interviews, they can also do mock interviews with you to build your confidence. There's also lots of scholarships. This is not just for academic based, this also might be merit based, and there also are sometimes scholarships specifically for international students. So make sure you have a look on the scholarships page on our website to see if you're eligible. There is also free counselling services as well. If you're having a hard time on campus or you are struggling in life, you might be able to tap into one of these services. This is a completely free service. And if you're struggling with any of your classes, you might want to get in touch with SLAMs. SLAMs are student learning advisory mentors, and it's basically a free tutoring service. And it's peer-to-peer. So if you're a high achieving student, you might want to volunteer as a mentor. And if you're someone who's struggling, you might go to one of these mentors and get some help in your classes. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you got something out of this presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to jump on the RMIT website to find out more.